He's a world champion, a record breaker, the first Welshman to conquer the PDC's pinnacle. So why does Gerwyn Price hate being called dart's villain? And why do fans love to hate him? From rugby fields to darting infamy, this is the story of the sport's most polarizing star and why his fire burns brighter than the hate. Gerwyn Price wasn't just winning darts matches, he was starting a war. When he lifted the Grand Slam trophy in 2018, the crowd erupted in boos. Why? Because Price didn't just beat Gary Anderson, he humiliated him in a final so heated it felt more like a bar fight than a sporting event. His crime? Celebrating. Loudly, aggressively, unapologetically. Anderson, the cool-headed Scotsman and crowd favourite, saw it as disrespect. The Darts Regulation Authority, DRA, agreed, hitting Price with a record £21,500 fine and a suspended ban. But here's the twist. Price didn't care. He thrived on the chaos. The more the crowd booed, the better he played. Instead of backing down, he leaned into the villain role. To Price, it was just passion. To fans, it was arrogance. And from that moment on, he became darts' most polarizing figure. Every time he stepped onto the arch, the crowd was ready to tear him apart, and he loved it. His pumped fists, roaring celebrations, and ice-cold finishes made him a must-watch competitor. Years later, he's still firing up arenas, silencing doubters, and proving one thing: boos don't break champions, they fuel them. Whether you cheer for him or against him, one thing's for sure: Gerwyn Price doesn't just play darts, he makes it a fight. Before Gerwyn Price became darts' most controversial figure, he was a rugby player, a sport where aggression, mind games, and full-throated celebrations are part of the culture. But in 2014, a career-ending injury forced him to trade tackles for his treble 20s. What didn't change? His attitude. In rugby, you celebrate big moments. In darts, you do the same, and suddenly, you're the villain? Price questioned. His rise through the ranks was meteoric. In just a few years, he went from pub leagues to lifting the 2021 World Championship trophy. But with every win came more hostility. Traditionalists hated his loud roars, his fist-pumping celebrations, and his refusal to fit the quiet, respectful mold of past champions. To them, he wasn't just winning, he was disrespecting the game. Yet the more they booed, the better he played. Unlike others who crumbled under pressure, Price fed off the hostility. Every jeer became fuel, every doubter an extra push to dominate. He didn't just throw darts, he fought for every leg like it was war. His presence on the earth was a storm, intimidating, unapologetic, electrifying. Now, love him or hate him, there's no denying Gerwyn Price changed darts forever. He turned the quiet gentleman's game into a battlefield, proving that passion, fire, and a little controversy can be just as powerful as talent. They call him the Iceman, but Gerwyn Price's career has been a raging inferno. Behind the steely glare and frozen nickname lies a man who's sparked more controversy than any player in darts history. Let's break it down. £21,500 in fines, boos that drowned out trophies, a daughter too ashamed to claim him. Price's firestorm began at the 2018 Grand Slam, where his over-the-top celebrations, fist-pumping, roaring, and staring down legends like Gary Anderson earned him a record-breaking fine and a reputation as darts' public enemy #1. Crowds turned venomous. In 2021, he won the World Championship in a near-empty Ali Pali, and the few fans there booed him lifting the trophy. "I just achieved my dream," Price admitted, voice cracking, "and I felt empty." But here's the kicker, the hate didn't stay on stage, it seeped into his life. His daughter once confessed, "I don't tell people he's my dad, they'll judge." Imagine that, a world champion whose own flesh and blood hides their bond to dodge the backlash. Yet Price thrives in the chaos. When fans jeer, he smirks. When rivals like Peter Wright clash with him, costing another £10,000 fine, he doubles down. This isn't just gamesmanship, it's a full-blown rebellion against darts' polite culture. So why should you care? Because Price isn't just a villain, he's a mirror. He exposes the raw nerve of a sport torn between tradition and theatrics. Love him or loathe him, his story forces the question, is Gerwyn Price destroying darts or saving it from boredom? Is Gerwyn Price darts' rebellious anti-hero or a relatable family man trapped in a villain's narrative? Offstage, the Welshman shatters expectations. Picture this, a hulking athlete known for snarling at crowds proposing to his wife in a petrol station. No roses, no grand gestures, just a spur of the moment, let's get married during a night shift. I'm the least romantic bloke alive, he jokes, yet this humility endears him to those who see beyond the bravado. At home, he's just Gezi, a dad who plays video games with his daughters and cringes when they hide his identity to avoid schoolyard judgment. But step into the arena and Price transforms. The man who chuckles about his lack of flair becomes Dart's incendiary showman. Fans accuse him of orchestrated theatrics, ear-scratching to mock jeering crowds, icy glares after bullseyes, and chest-thumping roars that rattle opponents. Critics label it gamesmanship, but Price insists it's raw authenticity. I tried being quiet once, he admits. My darts turned to rubbish. This is just me. Take it or leave it. The divide is stark. In 2023, during a Premier League clash in Belfast, Price silenced a hostile crowd with a jaw-dropping 170 checkout, then smirked as boos morphed into reluctant applause. Yet, weeks later, he broke down post-match after relentless heckling. Is this worth it? So, who is the real Gerwyn Price? A calculated provocateur, or a passionate competitor refusing to dull his edges for tradition's sake? Even rivals can't decide. Gary Anderson calls him disrespectful, while Michael Smith concedes he's box office. Love him or loathe him, Price's duality fuels the drama of darts. He's a reminder that in sports, the line between villain and icon is razor thin, and sometimes the most compelling characters thrive in the grey. The louder the boos, the sharper his focus. But what happens when the hate isn't fuel, when it's too much to bear? During the 2021 World Championship, Price pleaded with referees to eject hecklers. Instead, the crowd turned on him even harder. In contrast, when he played in Cardiff, his home turf, the cheers rattled him. I didn't know how to handle support, he admitted. Psychologists call this the underdog effect, when athletes thrive in adversity, using negativity to power their performance. Price has mastered this, turning every jeer into an edge, but even he isn't immune to the toll. After a crushing loss in Ireland in 2022, he nearly walked away from darts. Is it worth it? He asked. So far, the answer has been yes. But the weight of being darts' most polarizing figure isn't getting any lighter. Price doesn't just play against his opponents, he plays against thousands who want him to fail. And yet, that's exactly what keeps him going. Love him or hate him, one thing is certain, Gerwyn Price refuses to back down. Gerwyn Price's career is a paradox, undeniable greatness wrapped in endless controversy. His resume gleams with accolades: world champion, former world number one, record-breaking checkouts. Yet, his legacy? It teeters between brilliance and infamy. To critics, his antics overshadow his talent. They see the fist-pumping, the deafening roars, and the icy glares at opponents and call it disrespect. To his fans, he's a rebel, a breath of fresh air who shattered darts' stiff traditions and injected raw passion into the game. Even among players, there's no consensus. Gary Anderson, his fiercest rival, refuses to acknowledge him. Peter Wright mocks his theatrics. But then there are the new generation stars, like Luke Humphries, who see him as a game changer. He's made it okay to show emotion, Humphries admitted. Love him or loathe him, Gerwyn Price has forced darts to evolve. His name will be remembered, not just for the trophies, but for the fire he brought to the Oche. Darts needs Gerwyn Price, not despite the chaos, because of it. Think about it, when Price strides onto the stage, the air crackles. Fans boo, opponents tense, and social media explodes. He's the sport's lightning rod, a human headline machine who transforms every match into must-watch drama. Here's the secret, tournaments profit from his villainy. Organizers slot him into primetime matches, knowing fans will pack arenas just to jeer. They chant, "Was!" as he steps up, then fall silent when he nails a 110 average. Price shrugs, "I'm here to win, not make friends." But don't mistake his smirk for indifference. Behind the bravado lies a man acutely aware of his legacy. "Maybe when I retire, they'll respect me," he admits. Until then, he'll weaponize the hate. Take the 2023 Premier League. Price faced Michael Smith in Liverpool, a crowd so hostile it felt like a gladiator pit. Boos rained down. Price responded with a 9-darter, the sport's holy grail, then stared into the stands, arms wide as if saying, "Is that all you've got?" The crowd roared louder, but this time with reluctant awe. Critics call him a pantomime villain, but here's the twist. Price's rebellion forced darts to evolve. Before him, celebrations were polite applause. Now, players roar, stomp, and entertain. Even rivals admit he's made the sport alive, says Peter Wright. The truth? Chaos sells. And Price? He's the salesman. Love him or loathe him, you can't look away. because in a world of perfect checkouts, Gerwyn Price is gloriously, unapologetically flawed, and that's exactly why darts needs him.